Timberborn has two kinds of water. There is the fresh water, and of course then there is also the bad water that comes out of these bad water sources. But every now and then, instead of a drought, you are going to get a bad tide, and with it comes a lot of bad water. The problem with this bad water is that it will be taking the same path that your fresh water takes. However, as this bad water flows down your river, you're going to find that it spreads contamination, which basically makes it impossible for you to plant anything nearby. How on earth do we solve this problem, and how do we ensure that bad water doesn't end up in our dam? You know, the place that is supposed to store fresh water for us so that we can actually, survive in this survival city builder? Well, the first thing we needed to do is basically make our way up here to the actual water sources. Because, this is where I want to solve the problem. Because I don't want the bad water actually going down here at all. So this amazing little beaver over here has managed to clear up this entire area. So now I'm just going to get rid of all of this stuff. Now there are some prerequisites before we can get to this, and that is that you need these sluices unlocked. Yes, you could get away with using floodgates, but honestly that is just annoying to deal with because you need to manually open and close them at every bad tide. Now the way I like to do it is pressurizing the water source over here, right where it starts. However, that is an endgame solution, so we're gonna cover that in a future video. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss it. For now, what we're going to do is we are going to create an automated system which sends contaminated water to the right over here, while letting fresh water continue onward. So what I am thinking is basically a 3-wide channel for the bad water to flow through. So let's just create some levees over here, and this can go all the way. And of course we need to provide a path over here as well. Lovely. This wall over here is basically going to determine where the bad water will flow. Currently we don't really care about bad water getting back here, but in the future we might just, narrow this further down. Okay, so while the beavers work on that, let's talk about why we left 3 spaces over there for the channel. Well, let me just disconnect one of these floodgates and close them up. And as you will see, the water level will rise up. Some of it leaks back here, but that's fine. And then it basically, continues flowing this way. However, now if I close a second floodgate, what's going to happen is that the water level is going to rise up so much that it starts flowing over there. Now, this is not a behavior that I'm a fan of. Yeah, I know this is only happening because I'm using dams over here, and dams are only 0.65 high. If I was using sluice gates over here as well, I could get away with just 2 of these as well. But in my books, better safe than sorry. So 3 is a nice number where I'm not going to be getting any anxiety over the water levels. Anyway, let's just reset these floodgates and head back over here where our beavers have already finished this place. Okay, because of just how crazy this map is, we are going to need some more toys over here. Let's just make sure that this is basically all that we need. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's also make another one over here. And I believe for the time being, our beavers do need to get back down here. Later on, we need to just cancel that idea. So here's my plan. Basically, we are going to place 2 levees over here, and we're gonna split the fresh water and the bad water over here. So bad water will go this way, while fresh water will go this way. Sounds simple, right? Yeah, let's do that. Maybe there's a better way to do this. Maybe if I just come over here. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, I can just place these 3 ones instead. Now the only problem with this is that our beavers need to basically get over here in order to build these. And they can't really do that. So we need to help them with that as well. So how do I get my beavers up here? Let's see. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Let's just place those stairs over there. And there we go. Lovely. And now all we need to do is just wait for everyone to, build their stuff so that we can move on with our lives. Overhangs are pretty expensive, but they are a really clean way to do this. Otherwise, I would basically have to fill this place up with levees, which is not something that I want to do. Okay, so once we get up here, what we need to do is we need to make sluices. And these are really simple. For now, just make sure that the arrow points towards the direction that you want the water to flow through. And then on top of these, why don't we just place regular old levees? And this is going to be a nice way for our beavers to get over to this side. There we go, just 1 more block left and then we can get to sluices. Oh, lovely, would you look at that? Just when we were about to learn about sluices, the drought started. So this has two problems. First of all, you can see these holes, right? Yeah, the water will just go through them. That is easy to solve. We just place these impermeable floors over here. Yeah, before we do that, we need to tackle another issue though, which is that you see if bad water falls down here, there's nothing stopping it from mixing with the fresh water. So for that, we need to create a wall over here. Oh, and I just realized I need another one of these overhangs just to channel the river properly. Alright, and then all of this area with the holes, yeah, we need to block those off. So we need to create impermeable floors on top of those. There we go. Let's just let our beavers work on this now. Thankfully, impermeable floors are incredibly cheap. And honestly, I'm glad that they are cheap because we end up using a lot of them in some builds. There we go. As the last levees over here get built, I hope the drought is ending soon. Yeah, it's just ending in 2 days. Yeah, there's still one thing that's bothering me, which is that water that falls on these blocks can flow to the left over here. So maybe we might need to place a single levee here. Yeah, there you go. So this is all well and good, but you know, the fresh water is currently flowing through both of these outlets. That's not okay. For that, click on these sluices over here, uncheck everything, and then just tell it to close below contamination. And what that will do is that will basically close it right away. And now all the water will be flowing through the other gates. Similarly, on these other ones, you want to uncheck everything and close above contamination. Now the 5% over here is a really decent number, but I'm one of those people who just close it all the way. So like as soon as it's above 0%, just close it. Yeah, and same over here, as soon as it is below 1% contamination, you need to close it. Because I'm pretty sure it can never be below 0%, right? Yeah, okay, it can never be below 0%, obviously. So, close below 1% contamination. Okay, let me just pause the game, and this one is gonna close now. Perfect. And then we're gonna open this one. And is any of the water going to leak? Oh, it does leak. No, that's not okay. That is not okay. Does it keep leaking once it starts flowing though? No, it does not keep leaking. Interesting. So what's the matter? Why is it leaking? It's just leaking because it wants to leak. So let's just close this up further. Hopefully that is going to be more than enough. Yeah, let's just have my army of beavers over here finish this up. Holy moly, what happened over there? Some is still leaking. There's still some leakages. Oh, wait a second. There's some weird flow happening over here, maybe because of these corners and whatnot. Forget about it. Yeah, we're just gonna go crazy with this, okay? This side is gonna close above contamination, and this side is going to close below contamination. And yeah, all of them need to be set at auto over here. And let's just force another bad tide. And let's see what happens this time around. Wait, they are set to auto, right? Yes. Okay, that closes. And this one should open now. And water should start flowing, and it's flowing properly. Great. I just realized I have dynamites. So I could have just made, you know, some tunnels over here basically. Like here's what I could have done. 1, 2, 3. And that would have solved basically all of my problems. I wouldn't have had to basically build this entire level on top. Oh, brother. Alright, so now we've gone back in time. I've just set these to automatic again, just in case I forget. But for the most part, this means I never have to worry about bad tides. Which means that this dam is now redundant. We don't need these spillways over here anymore. And there are so many fun things we can do over here. With sluices, by the way. Because so far, over here, as you can see, we have basically only used these last settings over here, which are, you know, designed to deal with bad tides. We have not used this top one, which is what we are going to do in the next video, because we're going to be playing with sluices that can do this magic. It's absolutely insane, if I'm being honest. But, you know, the setting is useless over here, but it's very useful over here. So, join me next time on Timberborn as we play with sluices. That sounds really bad, I don't know why. Oh, wait a second, before we deal with sluices, we also need to deal with this bad water source once and for all. So that, you know, the bad water stops flowing this way. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss that. And by the way, a little bit of an editor's note. The initial design that we made did not really work, so we ended up revising it. But I did not cut those parts out, because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, and I also want myself to, you know, not hide my mistakes. Goodbye!